ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
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 नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयामुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोके भक्ति भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपाकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। Today we are reading from 4th canto, chapter 30, sloka number 21. Maitreya uvacha evam bruvānam purushartha bhajanam evam bruvānam purushartha bhajanam janādānam pranjalaయ प्रचेतसः जनार्दनं प्रञ्जलाय प्रचेतसः तद्दर्शनद्वष्टतमो रजमाला तद्दर्शनद्वष्टतमो रजोमाला गिराकृणं गद्गदकया सुहृत्तमं गिराकृणं गद्गदया सुहृत्तमं मैत्रेय उवाच एवं ब्रुवाणां पुरुषार्थभाजनं जनार्दनं प्रञ्जलाय प्रचेतसः तद्दर्शनद्वष्टतमो रजमाला गिराकृणान् गद्गदया सुहृत्तमं
मैत्रेय उवाच एवं ब्रुवाणं पुरुषार्थभाजनं जनार्दनं प्रञ्जलयः प्रचेतसः तद्दर्शनद्वष्टतमो रजोमला गिराग्रणं गद्गदया सुहृत्तमम् एवं ब्रुवाणां पुरुषार्थभाजनं जनार्दनं प्राञ्जलयः प्रचेतसः तद्दर्शनद्वष्टतमो रजोमला गिराग्रणं गद्गदया सुहृत्तमम्। मैत्रेय उवाच एवं ब्रुवाणं पुरुषार्थभाजनं जनार्दनं प्राञ्जलयः प्रचेतसः तदर्शनद्वष्टतमोर्जोमला गिराग्रणं गद्गदया सुहृत्तमम्।
Word to word meaning. Maitreya Uvacha. Maitreya said, Evam, thus, Gurvanam, speaking, Purushartha, of the ultimate goal of life, Bhajanam, the bestower, Janardanam, who takes away all the disadvantages of the devotee, Pranjalayaha, with folded hands, Prachetasaha, the Pracheta brothers, Tat, him, Darshana, by seeing, Dvashta, dissipated, Tama, of darkness, Raja, of passion, Malah, whose contamination, Gira, with a voice, Agranan, offered prayers, Gadgadaya, faltering, Sihritamam, unto the greatest of all friends. Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki translation. The great sage Maitreya said, after the personality of Godhead spoke, thus the Prachetas began to offer him prayers. The Lord is the bestower of all success in life and is the supreme benefactor. He is also the supreme friend who takes away all miserable conditions experienced by a devotee. In a faltering voice, due to ecstasy, the Prachetas began to offer prayers. They were purified by the presence of the Lord, who was before them face to face. Purport. The Lord is herein described as Purushartha Bhajanam, the bestower of the ultimate goal of life. Whatever success we want in life can be attained by the mercy of the Lord. Since the Prachetas had already attained the Lord's mercy, they were no longer subject to the contamination of the material modes. The material modes dissipated from them just as the darkness of night immediately dissipates when the sun rises. Because the Lord appeared before them, naturally all the contaminations of the material qualities of Rajas and Tamas completely disappeared. Similarly, when an unalloyed devotee chants the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, he is also purified of all material contamination because the name of the Lord and the Lord are identical. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam 1:17, Srinvatam Swakataha Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtanaha Pradhyantasti Avadrani Vidinoti Sihridam Satam. Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, who is the Paramatma, super soul in everyone's heart, and the benefactor of the truthful devotee, cleanses desire for material enjoyment from the heart of the devotee who has developed the urge to hear his messages, which are in themselves virtuous when properly heard and chanted. The holy name of the Lord is the Lord himself. If one chants and hears, he becomes purified. Gradually, all material contamination disappears. The Prachetas were already purified due to the Lord's presence before them, and they could therefore offer the proper prayers with folded hands. In other words, as soon as the devotees are engaged in devotional service, they become transcendental to all material contamination immediately, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Sagunan samatityajan brahma bhoyaya kalpate. Sometimes the devotees are dissatisfied due to their not seeing the Supreme Personality of Godhead personally. When the Prachetas saw the Supreme Lord personally present, their unhappiness vanished. Om Ajnana Timrandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Guru Vaishnavamsa Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunadanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishaka Anvitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Sri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Shrite Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Pancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyam Vaishnavebhyam Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara, Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktarinda, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachakam pangam langayate girim yatkupatamaham bande. Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanyam Ishwaram Harihi Om Tatsat. Hare Krishna. So, in the Canto 4, Chapter 30, it's named The Activities of Prachitas. So, we see this is the conversation between Maitreya Muni and Vidura. So, Vidura is asking intelligent questions, and Maitreya Muni, accordingly, he is replying to Vidura about the pastimes of the Lord and about the Lord, about the pastimes of the leelas of his devotees and other aspects of devotional service. So, in this aspect of Canto 4 and Chapter 30, here also, so Vidura is asking some questions and Maitreya Muni is answering them. So, here Maitreya Uvacha, I will read again the translation. The great sage Maitreya said, after the personality of Godhead spoke thus, the Prachetas began to offer him prayers. The Lord is the bestower of all success in life and is the supreme benefactor. He is also the supreme friend who takes away all miserable conditions experienced by a devotee. In faltering voice due to ecstasy, the Prachetas began to offer prayers. They were purified by the presence of the Lord, who was before them face to face. So here we see that the uh, Prachetas, we know that they are the sons of Prachinabari, and they were actually doing great austerities in order to please the Supreme Lord. In fact, actually, they performed austerities in such a way that uh, uh, they not only what do you say satisfied the Supreme Lord, but his dear devotees also. So here we see that when when after such 10,000s of austerities performed, okay, when the Lord is actually pleased, so Lord appears before them and asks for benediction. And when the Lord appears before them, the Prachetas were astonished, and they were overwhelmed by the love of Krishna. They were overwhelmed by the love of Godhead, because the because the presence of the Lord is so potent. Here we see that he is also the supreme friend who takes away all the miserable conditions experienced by a devotee in faltering voice. So they were in ecstasy. They were not able to speak anything. They were in ecstasy, and the Prachetas began to offer prayers. They were purified by the presence of the Lord. So so in fact, actually, the songs of the Prachina Bari satisfy the Supreme Lord. The Prachitas, whatever the prayers they offered, actually they were given by the Lord Shiva in order to please the Supreme Lord. So the Supreme Lord was actually pleased by their sincere prayers, and also the Lord asked them, okay, what is the benediction that they want? So here Maitreya Muni, Vidura is inquiring, okay, so how the Supreme Lord is satisfied, and what are the things that they have done in order to satisfy the Supreme Lord. So what are the things that Prachetas had offered to Supreme Lord, that the Supreme Lord felt very happy, and he appeared before them. So that is, and then that is Vidura was asking, and Maitreya was telling that they underwent severe austerities within the sea water, okay, to carry out the orders of their father, who is Prachinabari, and by chanting the mantras given by Lord Shiva, they could satisfy the Supreme Lord. So generally, Lord Shiva, we see he is the benefactor for ordinary living entities. So he gives, if anybody is having any material boons, material desires. So generally, Lord Shiva or Lord Durga, they were given opportunity, to give, to bestow those things to them. But here, the Prachetas are very very fortunate that Lord personally comes to them and asking them what they want. So, and here it is mentioned that ultimate goal of life they want. So after the personality of Godhead spoke thus, the Prachitas began to offer him prayers. The Lord is the bestower of all success and the supreme benefactor. So here it is described about the Lord and the Prachitas. So how the Lord is the supreme benefactor. There is a sloka in Bhagavad Gita, right? What is it from? Suhridam sarvabhutanam jnatmavam shanti muchyate. So the Lord is actually the bestower of all the sacrifices. The Lord is the real benefactor, because the Lord does not want to give any material wounds. The Lord actually wants to give the highest goal of life, ultimate goal of life, which nobody can ever give. Even in the avatars of Krishna or Vishnu, okay. So like in none of the avatars were able to give what Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was able to give, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to like give the love of Godhead. So that is the ultimate goal of life. So if you see any other avatars of Krishna, okay, so Krishna came and he did some pastimes, and then some devotees got benefited. But the thing is, this love of Godhead, which is the ultimate goal of any devotee. So that is actually profoundly, Mahaprabhu is giving, profusely he is giving. So that is actually, like something we have to really, appreciate, because if you see in any other yugas, okay, so there may be some what do you say, different boons or benedictions given by the Lord, but this ultimate goal of life, this love of Godhead for Krishna is it is very rarely achieved. So here we can see, and before that actually how the Prachitas were overwhelmed by seeing Krishna, because when they saw the Lord, actually they were in ecstasy, because they were overwhelmed by the beauty of the Lord. The Lord, when the Lord, whatever he wore, the garments or the ornaments, and the like what you call this different things, actually golden ornaments or Vaijayanti Mala. So that Vaijayanti Mala is very special. It is made up of different I think five different kinds of flowers, okay, which is very rare to get that. And the Lord is wearing that, and the Lord is wearing yellow garments. So looking at that beauty of the Lord, actually they were overwhelmed. Even when we look at the pastimes of Dhruva Maharaj, so even Dhruva Maharaj was also he was in ecstasy, okay. And when the Lord touches Dhruva Maharaj, he felt very all his senses became overwhelmed. So here also we see that when the Lord appeared before the Prachitas were also in ecstasy, because that is the beauty of the Lord. So like in the material world, actually we find some beauty, okay, little, but here actually everything is over a period of time, eventually it gets vanished. But in the spiritual world, everything is absolutely everything is very blissful. And anything in relation to Krishna, that is blissful. Anything in relation to the Supreme Lord, anything in relation to the his name, form, activities, and anything in relation to his devotees, dear devotees, that is all supreme, and that is all blissful. So that is why when we see the deity of the Lord, when we see the different paraphernalia of the Lord, or when we chant his holy names, so it is all actually supremely blissful. So here also it is mentioned in the purport that the name of the Lord and the Lord are identical. What is that? Was in the Padma Puran. Abhinnatvam Nama Namini. So Nama Nami, both are identical. So both are not different from Nami is not different from Nama. So Nama is holy name, and Nami is that Lord himself. So that means how, so the Lord is so attractive and his names are also so attractive, and anything in relation to the Lord, that is also so attractive. So suppose prasadam we see, that is also attractive. Why it is attractive? It is purifying our consciousness. So the name is also purifying our consciousness. The Lord deities are also purifying our consciousness. So in that sense, anything in relation to Krishna, that is purifying our consciousness. So that is actually the real boon for the living entities in the material world who are suffering here, right? So in the material world, everyone is suffering. Okay, everybody is actually entangled in this material world. They are suffering from this, dark dens of, this sufferings. Now, we are all suffering from the time immemorial, right? Because we are actually that as soon as we came to this material world, so we got attracted to this material atmosphere. Now, life after life, life after life, life after life, okay, we have been so much habituated to this material atmosphere that even when the Lord appears before them, we were unable to, realize that, the Lord is there. So when Krishna came here in Dwaraka Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, okay, so many living entities are there who saw Krishna, but they were not able to realize Krishna. Okay, many people, they know, like Krishna's name and his activities and, his different leelas and all, but they were not attractive. Why? Because they were, so much entangled in these material activities, so much entangled in this material atmosphere that they were unable to come out of this, right? So that material energy is so strong that nobody can actually, come out of this unless there is a mercy of the Lord or pure devotee. Mercy is there, right? So here also it is mentioned when the material modes dissipated from them, just as the darkness of night immediately dissipates when the sun rises. So whenever the sun rises, there is no darkness. Similarly, whenever there is Krishna or his paraphernalia, there is no Maya. So Maya is there because there is no Krishna. And whenever there is a Krishna, so proper compare this, what is that? Compare this analogy with one example, that is the shadow, right? So uh, whenever yeah this uh, like when Krishna is not there, the Maya is behind, right? Something like that. So here also it is mentioned, just as the darkness of night immediately dissipates when the sun rises. So whenever Krishna is there, he is like the sun. Actually, he is the, like a fountainhead of all the material planets. And here it is compared, whenever there is a sun, the sun basically dissipates, sun rays, everywhere. Okay, irrespective of place, irrespective of circumstances, irrespective of people, everywhere it dissipates, right? So similarly, the Lord also, when he comes, and the Lord also, his mercy actually it dissipates everywhere and to every living entity. So basically, the Lord's actually love for everyone is actually unconditional. Okay, the Lord's love for everyone is unconditional, and also it is equal. Okay, but but his reciprocation, basically it is conditional and it is limited. It is conditional and it is unequal, because basic why it is, because so here we see that every living entity is part and parcel of Krishna, and Krishna is not partial to anybody, right? So if Krishna is the supreme Lord, if Krishna is the supreme Father, if Krishna is the supreme Mother, so then Krishna, the Lord, has to be equal to everyone, right? So by default, actually, Krishna is equal to everybody, and Krishna's love for every living entity is equal, right? So that actually, we cannot change. But the way he reciprocates with different living entities, that is conditional. Okay. So basically, the love for Krishna, the love towards everybody, the love of Krishna towards everybody is Krishna is giving, Krishna is giving his love or his bhakti or his mercy to each and every living entity, irrespective of any other material qualification. Okay, so he's dissipating that love, that bhakti, okay, to all the living entities equally. But every living entity has some kind of material attachments, Sir, right? So every living entity has, so some living entities are surrendered to Krishna, some living entities are not, and some living entities are averse to Krishna. Vimuka, it is mentioned in the Bhagavatam that Vimukasya Daiva, Vindeha Bhuya Vimukasya Daiva, Adharma Shilasya, Sudhikitasya, Anugrahayana Charantinunam, Bhutani Bhavyani, Janardanasya. So they are averse to Krishna, so they can't appreciate the love of Krishna, they can't appreciate the bhakti, they can't appreciate the activities of Krishna consciousness. So they are always perplexed in the material activities. But whenever a devotee actually reciprocating with Krishna, so Krishna also will reciprocate. So in that sense, okay, Krishna's love for the living entity is conditioned. Krishna's love for the living entity is conditioned and unequal, right? So now another aspect of here it is mentioned Srinvadam Swakata Krishna Punya Sravana Kirtanaha. So here Hridayantasthi Abhadrani Vidinoti Suhrudam Satam. Surah that is mentioned. So the ultimate goal of life, actually, the ultimate goal of this human form of life, after taking this human form of life, okay, so we have to strive for that ultimate goal of life. That is actually Vedas and Upanishads, very much, giving so much emphasis on that. So after taking this human form of life, what should be our ultimate goal? What should be the ultimate goal for any human being? Okay, so here it is mentioned the human form of life is very, very rare, and it is the human beings have to strive for the ultimate goal of life. Okay, here it is mentioned Suhrut. Suhrut means the ultimate or highest or ultimate, or that is something that is eternal. So that kind of benefit or benediction that we have to look. So here, here it is also mentioned the holy name of the Lord is the Lord Himself. So sometimes actually we don't understand that the power of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Sometimes we don't understand the potency of the holy name, because holy name is more merciful than Krishna himself. Holy name is more merciful than the Lord himself. Why? Because we cannot access directly to the Lord, directly to the activities of the Lord, directly to the paraphernalia of the Lord. Okay, somehow we are engaged, some deity worship and all, but still, we are not directly, we are still in the material world and we have not purified yet. And with that kind of contamination, with that kind of material, what you say, with material contamination, so we will not be able to see Krishna directly, right? But here, what Krishna is giving His name. Okay, so you can take Krishna anytime. So you can utter Krishna's name anytime. Okay, so morning to evening or night, you can utter Krishna's name anytime, and you can feel the presence of the Lord. So that means Krishna's name, holy name of the Krishna or Hare Krishna Mahamantra, that is more powerful or more merciful than the Krishna himself. Okay, so that means, because why I'm saying this, because the Lord of the names of the Lord are more accessible to us. Okay, of course, Krishna names and Krishnas are not identical. Say Krishna is there, Krishna's names are there. So in the sense that Krishna's names are more accessible to us, so the names are more merciful to us. So that is why here it is mentioned the whole name of the Lord is Lord himself. If one chants and hears, he becomes purified. So it is mentioned, so if one chants and hears, he becomes purified gradually, all material contamination disappears. The Prachitas were already purified due to the Lord's presence before them, and they could therefore offer proper prayers with folded hands. Okay. In other words, as soon as the devotees are engaged in devotional service, they become transcendental to all material contamination immediately. Sagunan samatitaitan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. So as soon as we engage ourselves in the service of the Lord, because that is the only way that a living entity can get purified from the material contamination, right? So he will not get purified by performing different karma kanda activities or by going through some severe tapasya, or going through some kind of mental speculation activities. No, it is not possible actually to get the mercy of the Lord. Actually, to become purified of the Lord, because the Lord is actually the source of everything, the source of all good, the source of all knowledge, the source of all purity. So we have to actually go and touch, we have to uh, go and uh, take that one. Okay. So otherwise, what will happen if if you like go and take different activities, or if you go and approach different ways of getting purified, it is not possible. So the only way to get purified is actually to access that that is Krishna's names, or Krishna, or anything in relation to Krishna. So that is the only way a living entity becomes purified. And it is also mentioned sometimes, in other words, as soon as the devotees are engaged in devotional service, they become transcendental to all material contamination immediately. Yes. So we have been in this material world from time immemorial, and it is very, very difficult to come out of that, because the material nature, or the Maya Devi, is very, very strong, and it always pulls us back to its energy. So but when we engage in Krishna's service, so then what will happen? So we become indifferent to all the material activities. Okay. So a devotee is doing all the activities, outsider also doing all the activities, but a devotee doing the activities different from the outsider doing activities. A devotee is actually is detached from the material contamination, but he is attached more to Krishna. But an outsider is more attached to material activities, material atmosphere, and he is so much entangled, but he is not attached to Krishna. So when we actually engaged in the devotional service, then we become indifferent to all the material activities. When not only that, we become transcendental to material activities. Not only that, we become more attached to Krishna. Sometimes the devotees are dissatisfied due to they're not seeing the supreme personality of Godhead. So here this aspect of that feeling of separation from Krishna, it is mentioned here. Sometimes the devotees are dissatisfied due to they're not seeing the supreme personality of Godhead personally. So not only the devotees gets dissatisfied of not seeing Krishna, but Krishna also, he also becomes dissatisfied. Okay. Sometimes Krishna becomes, he wants to depend on their devotees. He wants to become dependent on their devotees. And because the rasa between the devotee and the Lord, it is actually very, very blissful. So the Supreme Lord is actually he is enjoying the company of the pure devotee, and the pure devotee is also enjoying the company of Krishna. So that way, actually, both are enjoying, right? So both are like exchanging their loving reciprocation. So the devotees are happy, and the Krishna is also happy. And when Krishna is happy, and the devotee is happy. So but when Krishna is not there, so the sometimes the devotees get dissatisfied. So even when we are performing devotional activities in Krishna consciousness, so pure devotees at least. So whatever I heard in the lectures, or it is mentioned in the third canto of Bhagavatam, that it is mentioned in one of the purports that Prabhupada explains very nicely, that when looking at the beautiful face of Krishna, the devotee actually becomes, he feels ecstasy. And whenever, when the devotee actually offer prayers, and when the devotee decorates Krishna nicely, and when the, like, what you say, when the devotee actually, performs devotional service, so Krishna becomes happy. And when the Krishna becomes happy, then the devotee becomes happy. And when the devotee becomes happy, Krishna also becomes happy. So in this way, they, the devotees and Krishna, they're, nicely exchanging their transcendental relationship. But when the devotees, when the pure devotees, like when the pure devotees, they don't see Krishna, or when the pure devotees when they feel that separation of Krishna, so they cannot actually tolerate that. So here it is mentioned, sometimes the devotees are dissatisfied due to not seeing the Supreme Personality of Godhead personally. When the Prachetas saw the Supreme Lord personally present, their unhappiness vanquished. So this happened to same thing to Dhruva Maharaj also. When the Dhruva Maharaj also saw the Supreme Lord, okay, his paraphernalia, his beautiful face, his ornaments, and his effulgence, the Dhruva Maharaj actually felt an ecstasy, and especially when the Supreme Lord actually touches his body, and he felt even more happier. And here also the Prachetas, okay, of course the Supreme Lord didn't touch, but just by seeing the Supreme Lord's beauty, okay, so the Prachetas actually, they've forgotten everything else. Okay, they've forgotten, and their unhappiness of not seeing Krishna, that is also gone. So now they become very, very happy. So even so, it is to say that actually when we are in contact with the Supreme Lord, directly or indirectly, so we always feel blissful. Okay, we always feel blissful. We always feel happy. So that is actually very nicely mentioned here. Not only that, actually here, since the Prachetas had already attained the Lord's mercy, they were no longer subject to contamination of material modes. The material modes dissipated because the Lord before appeared them, naturally all the contamination of the material qualities of Rajas and Tamas completely disappeared. So it is, like when we are fixed in the transcendental knowledge, so we are actually freed from the all contamination, because a devotee is not interested in the mundane things, so he is fixed up in the devotional service. So he is actually feels indifference to all the material activities. And also here it is mentioned, the bestower of all the bestower of the ultimate goal of life. So why he is bestower? Because he is he is our real father. The Supreme Lord is our father, mother, and he is the supremely, he is supreme friend. So when he is the supreme father and supreme friend, obviously he will give the supremely results, right? Okay, so he will not give anything that is temporary, anything that is limited. So he wants to give that supreme benediction. So that is actually what the Lord is actually longing to give. But the living entities are so foolish that they don't want to take. They don't want to take Krishna's names. These the Lord is actually coming, and here he is giving, he wants to take us back to Godhead. But that is the ultimate goal of our life. But the living entity here, they are entangled in the material world. They don't want to they understand the philosophy of Krishna consciousness. They don't want to understand that the Krishna Tattva. They've forgotten the Lord. And even when the Lord is actually giving so many opportunities, okay, directly or indirectly, so but still the living entities are so foolish that they don't want to take. So that is actually very, very unfortunate situation of the living entity, especially in the Kali Yuga. So like our lifespan is very less, and so many struggles are there. But still the Lord is actually giving the highest benediction. The Lord is actually giving us simple way of going back to Godhead. But even then also we are unable to realize that what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving. Namo Mahavadanya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaur. He is giving Krishna Prema. Okay, that is actually here Purushartha Bhajanam. Here it is, the meaning of the Purushartha Bhajanam is the bestower of ultimate goal of life. So that is actually loving devotion to Krishna. So that is actually we have to aspire for. So it is mentioned in the Chaitanya Charitamrita that Karma Kanda, Jnana Kanda, Sakali Vishera Banda. So this Karma Kanda and Jnana Kanda and all other material activities, whatever is there. Okay, how many lifetimes you do? Okay, actually that will not give you ultimate benefit. But the only way is actually to get the mercy of the Lord, to get the mercy of the pure devotee. Otherwise, it is impossible to come out of these things. So these are all these Jnana Kanda, Karma Kanda. These are all like bits of poison, because these why it is compared with poison. Uh, this is not the real nectar of life. The real nectar is actually the feeling always blissful, and the real nectar is actually love for Krishna, devotion for Krishna, that rati for Krishna, that love and affection for Krishna. So that is actually uh, real nectar. But this jnana kanda, karma kanda, and other activities of this different aspects of these things, they actually do not give us ultimate goal of life. So they are like poison, because when you take the poison, what will happen? You will die, right? So this is also when you take these activities of karma kanda, jnana kanda, and the mental speculation. So slowly what you are getting more entangled with this material world, right? So you are not coming out of that. So maybe you are getting some kinds of like little happiness, but ultimately you are actually still there in the material world. So that is why it is mentioned, it is compared with poison, right? So liberation. So here it is also mentioned, cleanses the desire for material enjoyment. The heart of devotee was developed. Yeah. uh, yeah, so that is a real liberation. So which this verse is talking about. This verse is talking about the supreme friend who takes away all the miserable conditions experienced by a devotee. Hmm? That is why it is mentioned Janardana. Janardana means, so one is someone who takes away all the miserable conditions of life. And also, so here it is mentioned about the ultimate goal of life, that is the liberation. So liberation means actually it is not just coming out of this from the material contamination. The real liberation means actually the devotion to the Lord. Okay. So, and also it is mentioned, they were purified by the presence of the Lord, who was before them face to face. Okay. So yeah, these are the different aspects of this particular verse. So I'm sure like you might be knowing more. You may have more realization on this verse. Yeah, you can actually share some of your realizations also. Okay. So with this, I will end this verse. So you can share your your realizations, or anything that comes to your mind in relation to this particular verse.
Thank you. That's wonderful. Yes. We talked about that. A lot of devotion services was what is staying in the material world, maybe this attraction of the mind. Attraction to the material is so much that even Lord is present in before me, I cannot understand. It's a part of which I have, and reinforces the point that only they and Lord are not different. Over chanting with that consciousness is so we make this more merciful than Krishna himself, because we can access the Holy One. Better we get to him. One more point which you make like the mercy of the Lord, of your devotee must be in the focus. It's very difficult to get out of the touches of mind.
Very nice.
Very nice stuff. I want to say one point that like when we engage ourselves in Krishna's devotion, like anything, we are hearing vows in class, right? Even small like cleaning the temple, right? So it cleanses our heart and it pures our purifying our senses and our consciousness. That is very useful. हाँ जितना भी होता है उससे जितना सबसे ज्यादा मुश्किल है क्योंकि हमको हरिनाम देती है। जो हरिनाम ऐसा है कि कृष्ण से अलग नहीं, कृष्ण से कोई भी इसको कहीं भी चैंटिंग कर सकते हैं। तो अभी हम भगवान का बचाने तो मंदिर जाना पड़ेगा, पर हरिनाम किधर भी तो हम किधर भी ले सकते हैं और एनर्जी कर सकते हैं। और एक बताया जैसे हम सेंसेस को भगवान का सेवा में लगाएंगे तो प्यूरिफाई हो सकता है और अल्टीमेट गोल में जा सकते हैं।
Nice.
We find pretty clear that God shows the same amount of mercy on all the entities. But this interpretation of how much we are to satisfy see in this this section of the Prachitas learning to satisfy the God. So we see how the how before that they show the instructions of the how the devotee here the devotee love Shiva. So they follow the instructions of so we see that these are steps followed by the those sincere devotees who want to please God and who must take that account and this God. Spoken of how merciful Lord Chaitanya is and how he came to this world love of God. Came to this way, chanting this name of God, they were able to being part of the Sampradaya and being able to attend these classes, being able to chant the community by his mercy, it's not possible. The Lord and everything, straight from this fact that Lord and everything in relation to this not identical. But then at the same time, this very purifying to the Lord conscious. Depends on the fact that the holy name, Sadhu, the ability of the we must consider this as the version of the God.
Yeah.
And that at the same time, we are receiving this the mercy of the communities of the Lord Prabhupada and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Certainly came the and Prabhupada carrying this mission forward. So it's only by the mercy of devotees like Prabhupada that we are able to take these valuable interpretation of the name and the following prasadam that we have there. I'm very grateful to Prabhupada for this. Very rare, and that the goal is one to develop public heart and how we so access to the universe. There is no other technique that is available on this material world that can take us back. No form of yata, no form of yoga, no form of other. I think nothing can take us back. The real nectar can be experienced only on the spiritual platform. No other, no form of knowledge, no form of gymnastics, nothing can help us experience that real pattern of nectar.
Nice. Right. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for giving me this opportunity. I think I have wasted your time. नंदराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की और भक्तवृंद की